All right. Just doing a couple setups here. Let us see. We already got one question already, which is good. All right. Just doing a couple. Hello. Another day, another time to grind things out. Let us see. So let's start off by answering this question that I have here. It says here that he's from Arkansas. It's been really struggling to get clients. What is the most effective way to get your name out there? The most effective way to get your name out there would be networking. Networking is the king of things to do in the real estate photography market. How do you network? You go to, right now, since the time is really low, inventory is low, nobody's selling, everybody's scared, there's no buyers, or there probably is buyers, but the best thing to do is find out if there is holiday events. You know, every office, every agency loves, even though they say that they do it for the clients, but they actually do it for their agents. So if you go to Eventbrite, search up, holiday season or holiday real estate agents, blah blah blah, get together. They very often they post it there, or hop on Facebook and look at any events happening. Search up agencies, the ones that are nearby you in a 10-25 mile radius. Look at them up, try to see what events they have going on, try to stalk any agents out there that they're trying to get the word out to their fellow agents, because most of the time they do this to get other agents from other agencies to come on board. That's another tactic that they use. So, and very often it's for free, so if you keeping your eye out there for, and your ear for any discussion about holiday corporate events or whatever they have, that's how you get your in. Most of the time too, they need a photographer. So if you can offer your services for free, you can do that as well. I remember one time, I don't know when was it, I think it was 2017 or 2018. The agency did an event and I offered a headshot or a refresh for one photo only for free. There was about 20 25 people there. It was a lesson learned for me, because I actually hired another photographer that I thought that he was good, but everything was out of focus, so I lost a lot of business that I could have. But lesson learned. The reason why I did that, where I had somebody else to take the photos for me, is because I was introducing myself when they were stepping into the office, or the kitchen area, I should say, when when they were about to get their photos done. And yeah, so I was mingling with everybody, talking to them, blah blah blah, exposing myself to them for that short amount of period of time. So when they got in, essentially what I did is when they come in, I took, or the photographer took, barely took, but my idea was, and this goes pretty much back to you guys if you guys want to replicate it, is that if you take a photo, a headshot photo, do 3 to 4 poses on each direction. When it's time to send them, put watermarks on it, and if they want more photos, then they can buy it for it. That has been like the whole business plan of everybody, it seems like, but at the time I actually did that, and I was surprised because it wasn't until recently when I worked at a studio I started thinking that way again, where I take one shot and then the rest they can purchase it. So that's one great way. Always works out. That's a great way for you to meet home loan officers, home insurance people, title reps, because you can also work with them by doing videos for them, like a promo video intro. So keep that in mind also, that you can definitely do that. I don't know if the music is too loud, but it is a little bit loud for me right now. So unfortunately for Gonzi, who is not here, hopefully he's here, or she is here. Yeah, that is the most effective way to do things, in my opinion. Is right now is the time of networking. If you can step in any way, shape, or form that you can provide a service, for the holiday season, that's a great way, as opposed to doing houses for free. What I recommend also is get a business card or a brochure so you can hand them out while you're introducing yourself to them. Some people or some agencies, they love public speakers, or they love to have like mini classes of anything. I've seen home loan officers giving their spiel on a certain type of area or what they look for when approving homeowners or whatever. So they teach classes in that sense. So if you're not that shy and you have public speaking skills, then you're more than welcome to offer that as well to the broker, saying like, hey, I can do this for you in exchange for, getting exposed out there, names, emails, and phone numbers. That way you can exchange. So that's another thing that you can do, is provide a class value of what are the top reasons why your home needs to be professionally photographed. What are the best ways to keep in mind before a photo shoot? Those little topics that you see, that you don't see on YouTube. It's a great way to break the ice, introduce yourself, show that you're an expert in that field, and gain that confidence, and you will get your business. All these things I have done in the past in some way, shape, or form, and it has been successful. It was an excellent way for me to introduce myself. A lot of people know me in my area now, but just know that it might be agents who, it could be it's a double-edged sword, but just keep your guard up. Don't fall down when agents are talking to you very sweetly, very they're very good at persuading. I wouldn't say manipulating. I mean, even though at times it can feel that way, but just know that keep your guard up. Don't fold under pressure of doing things for free, because you will get a lot of those. I cannot emphasize that enough. That you will get those agents who are looking for a free promo video, and they will promise you that they will be busy throughout the whole year if you do this for them. Carefully, carefully, be careful with that. Just take that in consideration. Um, it will save you a lot of headache. I wish I had someone like me to tell me this stuff that I know right now. So just keep that in mind when negotiating with agents. I don't know, but be mindful about all of those stuff. So if I'm peaking too much, let me know. Hopefully not, but yeah, I've been pretty. The levels has been pretty decent. I know yesterday we had some audio issues, but it turned out to be somebody else's thing. But it's all good to go, I think. Anyways, so yeah, so be mindful of those things that agents will just swarm, like they will just surround you, ask you a lot of questions, blah blah blah. Can you do this? Can you do that? And be prepared for you to give an answer to. Because if you go, I don't know, no, then you might lose some interest there. But yeah, let's see here. So hopefully I answer Gonzi's question once again. Is just giving you a little bit more in depth of what would I would do if you're struggling and you're new and you don't know where to start. Agencies are your best friend in that sense. So get to know the people, the brokers. Yeah, go to any event that you see. They always have mixers in bars or restaurants. They always have meetups there. So another great way too is if you find a school for real estate and you can partner up with them as well, because there might be students, they have classes full. Some are really struggling, but that's where you come in and just keep an eye out on everything and whatever they need. They also need headshots, they need business cards, all of that stuff that you can provide too, and you can collect some pocket change while they're going to start up their career. Let's see, another way to get your name out there. I'm actually I'm just thinking of this like in my head right now, and kind of hesitant but to say it, but you can also go to the testing sites, and there's a bunch of agents who pass or don't pass, and you can also just give your card out there. Or if you can do this, you can set up a mobile studio and do headshots for them. Now, if you say that you don't like to do headshots, if you are hesitant to do people, blah blah blah, let's break that away. I was the same way too. I didn't want to do people. It's difficult because all the negative comments or feedback that you get back after that. But it's actually, if you think about it, all the negative feedback that they have is about themselves. So, I mean, treat your soul kindly, I guess. Be kind to yourself, but just keep that in mind that if they have a negative comment about the photo, it's not you, it's them, type of situation. So keeping that in mind, you can do that as well. You can offer a free one headshot for free. I would suggest to do different sizes of poses. You would choose the best one for them. If they don't like it, then they can choose one and charge them an editing fee for them to keep. So that's another best way to collect money. Let's see. I really hope the audio is okay today. But yeah, that's pretty much all my marbles went into this. So I was hoping to get a little bit more people, a lot of more questions. That way we can keep this up. But let's see here. But yeah, how's let's see. Let me actually see this so we can see what's going on over there. I'll go to my favorite website, and that is Zillow. If you are struggling to find what's happening in your area, it's best to connect with an agent and find out what is the market recap of every week. How many listings have been up for sale? How many have they sold? That way you can keep track. All those little things that nobody tells you. Everybody just tells you, hey, price your photo shoots at $125 and a foot massage, and then you're good. You make $1 million. But little that they know is when times like this hits, where everything just stops. Nobody's selling, nobody is buying. What can you do? Hopefully by this time you will make your $1 million like everybody else claims. But if that's not the case, then you need to start thinking market-wise, marketing-wise. I'm not an expert of anything. I'm not claiming to be a professional. I'm just a survivor. That's pretty much been my thing. I just survive and adapt. And these are the little things that I think that most of the people who claims that make $1 million a year, they don't teach you. Even though they shove down your throat their $297 course. Let's see. All right, let me pop this up. Boom. We can do this. That's fine. Do not mind. Alrighty. Let us see here. Let's see what's going on here. So I'm pretty much in the bulk area of things. I don't know where is the most popular area, but let's just choose central, downtown, or whatnot. Get a new window. Here we go. Let us see here. Oops. Can I have the chat open here? Let's put it right here. Okay, let's see here what we have here. So I'm shorting it to the newest listings because this is how I, test the market, I guess you can call it, or see the quality of photos that they are currently providing. One thing about me, it's really hard for me to read words. So if I pronounce it wrong, I blame it on my ESL teachers, I guess. Let's see here. So we have, let's check out this one. 17 minutes ago. Oof. Okay. Actually, not bad. I mean, 50 grand. 2 bedroom, 2 bath. So little things like this, I understand why they just took the photos themselves. It's been happening quite often, actually, when there's a fixer-upper. They don't tend to like to do real estate photos, but let's try this one better. Okay, another house. This actually is a decent house that you can provide your services to. This is probably, I don't like doing this. I know it's kind of wrong to do this, but this agent does know how to do angles. It's just I wish he or she can use a leveler, like a level on the camera. I forgot where it is. Mine. I thought it was on my camera, but it's not. Anyways, so you can come in and say like, "Hey, I can show off, my skills, and then I can get a portfolio going, and then you could get an exchange. You could get the photos. No hard feelings, no nothing. But if you already have a portfolio and you have done your set of photos that you can present to agents, you can just introduce that and say, hey, I'm a real estate photographer. I would love to refresh your photos. Is there any way that you can keep me in mind or provide a different service? Even though they took the photos themselves, you can provide drone, 3D, or a floor plan. There's apps, Cubicasa, Matterport. Let's see what else. Those apps would generally provide you a floor plan service or a 3D tour. There's also another website that is called iSpy 360 that you can do a 360 tour with them, and they will provide you a floor plan for free that you can charge them. It costs $19 a month, so that's like on the cheaper end. I don't know about Cubicasa. I know they have reached out to me, but I think I didn't have time to talk to them, so it is what it is. But Cubicasa has been known and it's been great. I've heard a lot of good things about them, but I haven't used it personally because I tend to stay away from 3D tours. It's a headache. Let's see here. So yeah. What is it? Sandy. So Sandy knows how to choose angles properly. I love I love this type of photos. The little even that you can offer like editing service. I don't know, honestly, to remove them. Photoshop service. But you can point that out. It's like you don't look like you're holding something that you're shying away, So there is that. So currently I'm in Arkansas market. Looking at what is going on over there. It seems like they have a lot of listings popping up, but I do know the reason why some of the agents just want to take matters into their own hands is because, you know, they know what they want. Say like something like this. I know there's cell phone photography. They're saving a quick little buck. I don't know how much the photography over there is costing to an agent currently, but it's probably in the $80 to $125 depending on what they want. I love it. Love to see that. Love to see this. um, yeah, it seems like that market is still stuck on I can do it myself. I don't need anybody else to sell a property because the market doesn't care. It's very different here. It's like the people who are just doing HDR alone and not providing, they just shoot 4 corners and that's it. They're not providing value. Here, what's happening is that agents are trying to get another photographer to do another look at the property or have a different type of point of view. Before I left to the Philippines, I had 2 houses like that they didn't like the style of the photographer and they have to pay double. And that's something that I entered in discussion with the agent because I told them like, well, always try to ask for a portfolio if it matches your style and what your goal was intended in the first place. That way the public can see it and you're happy, they're happy, everybody's happy. And this is actually done with professional photographer. Hopefully. Nope, it's not. That's a nice photo though, front shot. Props to the agent. But again, we're seeing floor plan. Not bad. We're seeing the noise, the grainy. These are all topics that you can discuss with an agent, saying that why choose a professional photographer or a real estate photographer? You don't have to claim yourself as a professional. You just do a real estate photographer. It's a beautiful home. It's just, yeah. So these are all new listings that came on Zillow about an hour or 2 ago. Beautiful, beautiful property. You can offer them drone services because it's 2 acres. So to expose the property line and everything that that house offers or the property offers, you can say, hey, I can do drone photography for $50. It seems like over there it's a bit different type of world. I don't know their commissions, so that is up to you. If you have these kind of prices on properties, then be on the lookout for not overpricing too much, or else you're gonna have people offended. Interesting. This set of photos, no, it's cell phone. But if you can tell, taking the right angles. Might not be cell phone actually. It's a bit too big. Yeah. So there's probably a real estate photographer out there. But if you see properties like this, what you can do is offer them virtual staging. I already discussed this before, that you can do your own virtual staging and applydesign.io. And it's $7 to $10 per image. $7 if you buy more than 20 credits. If you want to just do a 1 photo per basis, then it's $10. So you can go ahead and take a look at that. I have yet to find a house, we already saw this, that it was professionally done. Another. Wow, it's amazing. So I think over there they're not big on HDR. They're not big on window polls, or maybe it hasn't been discovered yet, or maybe only the top agents uses that. But yeah, this is another photographer. See again, four corners photography is pretty mundane now. Everybody's doing it. It's good, decent. It's decent, and they got it done. I'm just not quite understanding why is it too grainy. Why the ISO is way too hot. I mean, the photos are decent. They're okay. You just gotta watch out for the ISO. All right, so now we're getting into the 300 plus market and see how is becoming a big difference of quality now. This is something that you can keep in mind of which clients you want to target and which clients you want to attract into your business. So let's see here. Very good. I mean, the lens might not be wide enough for the property, but try. Refrain from lowering your camera too low. I always find it. I mean, I do get it why. It's because probably the focal length is too. It's not wide enough, so they have to do that to capture the floor and the ceiling, and probably the agent requested to have the ceiling shown. Yeah, so if you can tell, now we're starting to get into the real estate photography market who is purchasing services like this and its properties like this. Let's see if we can find the in between. So we know now that properties that are $50,000 to $150,000, they tend to do it themselves. You can try to change their mind, but very often that's the same one. Very often they just stick to their own ways. Now we're moving on to the 500,000 to 600,000 area. Now we're starting to see just standard photos, one exposure photos, and they just do some editing and ship it off to the client, plus a drone shot. So keep that in mind. That that this are the type of clientels. If you have a camera and a drone, who do you target? The agents who are producing this type of thing. So it's best to introduce yourself to Velda. Say, hey, I'm a real estate photographer. You can check out my portfolio. Keep me in mind if you have any other listings that are just as beautiful as 40 Johnson Loop. That's it. Just introduction. Give off an introduction to what you do and what your services do. Because a lot of agents, there is no loyalty in the real estate world. There's only people. What can they offer and provide as value? Pretty cynical to think about it, but that's the truth. See, okay, now we're getting into the apartment complex. The whole apartment complex is a little bit tricky because you have to charge by square foot, and very often it doesn't make sense to them. So it is what it is. Just move on and try to search more houses that are up to your skill level. Depending. Give me 1 second. Alrighty, let us see here. Alrighty, so now we're getting into another photographer who did this, and it's actually a much better quality than I have seen so far. They're using strobe light, Flambiant. Here too is happening here in LA that a lot of people are just adapting the strobe light, the Flambiant technique that Nathan Coolphoto and Rich has been teaching for years now on YouTube. A lot of people throw around the Flambiant word around too much, and that is probably a word that they probably created. Not too sure about that, but now a lot of people are just owning that word on YouTube, which is a shame, and they're not giving credits where credits is due. But as you can see here, there is a Flambiant photo. It's decently executed. I mean, there's some parts that they should have just blended this with the ambient light photo that they have, and a little bit here too as well. It's a little bit too hot, and the shadows could be removed by correcting it, either doing it the opposite way of the strobe light or using the ambient light. So that's pretty much what I would do, but other than that, the photo looks great. I don't know what happened here. That's kind of hurts my eyes. They probably just used the lowest exposure. Decent. They're just trying to show off the appliances that it comes in with the house. That's a good question to ask the homeowner or the agent, is what is being provided or what is included in the house. That way you can, keep that in mind in your photography to make sure you get those little details. Okay. Cool. So a great way to introduce yourself with this property, even though, or as you can tell that he or she is using a real estate photographer, you can come in, add a little bit of value that you can do virtual staging, and you want to provide that services for them. And if they say how much, you have to do your market research in your area. Please do your market research in your area of how much everybody else is charging for you to come down to a consensus of, okay, I can charge $25, $15, whatever the case may be. Again, you can use applydesign.io for this. So if you want to do one photo per basis, it would be $10, and then you would just pocket the difference. So if you want to sell the photos for $25, you would get the $15 profit. And for anybody who's an agent or whatever, they say, well that's kind of sad, or it sucks that you guys do that. Well, do it yourself. You're charging the services because you're actually trying to put physically and decorate the room as much as you can. So that takes time. Yeah. So one great way to introduce myself with this agent who clearly uses a real estate photographer, and they'll probably say they're happy with the photographer that they have. No worries, I'm just introducing myself. If you or anybody else in your team is currently looking for a photographer or has a listing property that needs photography done as quickly as possible, I'm available as a backup. So there's that. So that's 175. So that's interesting. So keep that in mind, that not everybody is doing it in their cell phone. But the property also makes up for all the fixer uppers that we have seen uh, in the previous or a couple minutes ago. Land, great way to promote yourself as a drone photographer. As you can tell, they got a drone photographer. In addition to this, I would add outlines of the property line and where's it facing, what other amenities provides in the area. Little things like that will go a long ways with an agent. So remember, you're helping the agent to sell the property as fast as they can. So we have to take that in consideration. It's not just click, 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 corner, corner, corner. No, you have to take everything in consideration of all those little details in order for you to provide the best services out there. Hit a water break. I don't do much talking, and that's why I'm pushing myself to do this more often. So one thing that I learned in the Philippines is that you have to talk everywhere with people. Let's see here. So let's do this one again. Let's see here. Beautiful house. Why didn't they use a real estate photographer? I don't know. I don't know if this is a real estate photographer, honestly. Yeah, it is actually. It's just the editing is like a first starter. It's like right here, the name is right here, but everybody should get a liberaler. Those I don't know where I put mine. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Whoa, found it. So this little guy right here. No, I don't. I have manual focus, so it doesn't help. But you put it in the hot shoot, and you just keep in check the levels. Everything is in the middle, so your photos doesn't come out like this, or like this, or at least fix it up in Lightroom or Photoshop or Camera Raw, whatever floats your boat. All right. Anyways, let's see. Let's check out this area. Yep. Pretty standard. Pretty standard stuff. Yep. Pretty beginner. One thing to notice is how many photos did it took to the photographer to expose the property. A lot. So I don't know what focal length they're using. It seems that it's a little bit tight, but actually, probably a 20 millimeter or 24 millimeter. Honestly, everything is just too many photos. If you can get a story under 30 photos and you get the message clear for the property, do that. But I think it's just a lot of photos. This is a sign that we were talking about in the past, that it's been happening during this time, is that a lot of people are just dropping down their prices, and that is not good for the market. It means that there's not buyers out there that are comfortable of buying a home right now during the climate of everything. This is a good looking shot, but you can offer them your photo services. Right now, since times are like really rough right now to a lot of people, you can just provide a free photo shoot or a very much discounted just for the time being. I don't recommend it. Do it more than 5 people. If you can do it with 1 people and to get your name out there, to get a portfolio built up, and do that. But if you're a seasonal photographer, what I recommend is offer them an additional service like floor plan, virtual staging, intro video, a video walkthrough, and stuff like that. But keep in mind that a lot of people, a lot of agents are just keeping their pockets really tight when it comes to that. So that's why I highly recommend doing classes in real estate agencies. Doesn't matter what it could be. You can teach them about videos, video formats, whatever. Okay. So yeah, it seems like for the most part, the 150,000 and below, or 200,000 and below. Let's see, this company seems like this company right here that I see, the branding. I don't know if I can see it. Nope. Okay. This is the first HDR that we've been seeing. So that means that this real estate company, is looking for people who can provide good quality photos. In their mind, it's decent. It's a little bit of practice that needs to be done, but nonetheless, they got the clientele. This is the second property that we've been seeing from them. And again, this is nice. 32 photos. It's great. It's perfect. And if you didn't notice, he or she, or the photographer, is using flash strobe light. So they're using the Colombian technique. $200,000 mark. Another one that is the same logo, but didn't quite do it for everything because it's probably occupied and it's not in a good condition to take photos. So that means they know what they're doing. Another property by them. And if you see like add-on photos, that means that the photographer didn't really take note. To them is detail shots. You can add on to that. Maybe it was a bad day for the photographer. No, it seems like it was a good day. Just not sure why. You know why it is? It's because they, again, stop doing the four corners photos surrounding and call it a day. You know, you don't have to do your sessions under 15 minutes or less, like all the other creators or entertainers for real estate photography claim that they do. Take your time. I take 45 minutes, and I get a little bit of detail shots just to emphasize the home a little bit better. And if you can tell, this is staged. So they used a person to stage the house. So it's always good to know and keep in mind that, or keep in good relationships with the home stagers. Beautiful home. I'm going through it fast because I know what I'm looking for. So sorry about that for anybody else. Yeah, pretty standard. Okay, so I guess, yep, same people. RMLS. So that might be just the region MLS. I don't know, but let me see something. Interesting. So it might be a good strategy, I guess, to get in contact with this or your local realtor association and introduce yourself to them to see what they're doing. I guess that's just a watermark that they have to put for. But there's a lot of new homes building out. Sorry, I get distracted. But I guess that's just to be keep in compliance with the association. So brand new homes. So there's a lot of potential there. A lot of potential. I think we've seen this one. It's a gorgeous property. I love the style of it. Yep. Looks good. So if anybody else wants me to do like this type of videos and search what I find in your area, let me know. Let me know if this is something that you look forward to in the future. Because I'm planning to do this like every day at 9 a.m. till I want to say like at 12 p.m. I just want to do a cool little 3-hour stream every day and see where it goes, see where it takes me. I'm planning to do this every now and then hop on some videos, seeing what's going on out there. But I like to do this to just see the market, how it is in different areas, and how much is progressing, like in terms of quality of photos, which, as you can tell, most of them are still doing cell phone photography. Maybe it's because of the time. There's another beautiful home. It's 108. You're making me want to go over there and start my I'm just kidding. Start my business over there. Jesus. That's so cheap. Mm-hmm. Yes. Again, please use a leveler. Cost $2, and it will keep your images straight if you don't want to do the post editing. Verticals. One click of a button. Doesn't hurt anybody. Alright. Going back again. Something about this type of style of homes, it attracts me. I see this $400,000 cabinet style home. Or cabin, not cabinet. What the hell am I talking about? Cell phone. Interesting. Appointments only, new construction. Interesting. Okay, so we're now starting to see the new home builders. So another great strategy is to meet up with home builders. They're a little bit rough in the edges, but they're sweet on the inside. I promise you that. Let's see here. So they did standard HDR photos, floor plan, and a 3D tour. I also like to, it might be the Matterport Pro 2 camera that they have. Another thing that I like to do is go into the 3D and see what camera they're using to capture these images, but I can tell that it's probably the Zeta or the Pro. They're smart. So I'm trying to see it like a reflection of it to see what kind of equipment they're doing this for, but it's super high quality. Let me see if the rooms have any mirrors. Let's go this way. This way. Boom. No mirrors. Damn. What a shame. Let's see over here. The kitchen. Trying to see. Okay, there's a tripod. And it looks like yeah, it looks like it's the Profoto Matterport Pro 2 because it's probably standing behind it and walking around in circles with it. And another reason why I think of that is that how clean everything is rendered. When you're using like the 360 cameras, there's a lot of like spots and blotch, and you have to do a lot of scans. But this one doesn't have a lot of scans in them. Maybe he hit it, but yeah, I'm interested. Why? Yeah, there's a shadow. See, Matterport Pro 2. That's what he's using. Nice. That gives you also an idea of what type of equipment he's using. Coleman. Okay. Let's see. If you have the money to buy that camera, I recommend it, and then join their networking services for other people or other photographers to book you as a technician. Boom. But yeah, if anybody wants me to look up their city, trying to see what other photographers are providing to their clients and seeing what you can do better, or if you have any questions regarding, you know, techniques, what's other styles that you can bring into your business in order for you to gain the most out of the situation that we currently are going through. Water break. But yeah, I already know. I mean, this is my 2 cents about if I was in Arkansas or Kansas. Oh my god, I don't know. I'm so dyslexic, but yeah, I will do those things. Just contact the agent, introduce yourself, tell them that you're not selling anything. It's just an introduction as a backup. Stick to properties of 200 and above. It seems like just a very few people are doing HDR photography on their listings of 150 and above, but that's not the case. Everybody's doing cell phone photography like this. Yeah. So keep that in mind for that area. If you live in this area, then the things that I would do, I would also join their holiday party, introduce yourself, offer them free headshots. Everybody loves a free headshot. And yeah, and talk to the broker, talk to who's ever responsible of events, and ask them if they can add you to the list of sponsors, or you know, get a list of the contact information of the people that are coming in. Let me see something else. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, 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 mm. Again, I'm just gonna take a quick chill. If you have any questions, how I can help and everything like that, we just got done discussing Arkansas's area and the market with what they're currently offers or the photographers are currently offering, what services they provide. We came to a conclusion that people who are selling homes that are 50,000 to 150,000, they just prefer doing it in their cell phone. Anything above, they like to do HDR types photos. Now, if we're going to the $300,000 mark, they're starting to get 3D and aerials for you to keep in mind in the area of what type of services each agent goes into when they're trying to get a real estate photographer. So it's a great way to just ask those questions too, like where's the home, where's it located, uh, in order for you to, you know, offer the services accordingly. But it's also good to just keep a list of services with you and send them via text, email, however possible way you can get in touch with them. Uh, Before, when I first started the stream, one of the viewers asked, like, how can I get my name out there? Blah, blah, blah. I told him that it is best to do or go into real estate events, holiday events, like currently right now, everybody's doing Thanksgiving or Christmas events. Go directly to the broker if possible. Uh, Try to get a spot where you can teach or provide a free headshots in order for you to get contact information. Why a free headshot is because they have to put down their name, their email, their phone number in order for you to send that headshot to them, and you get information in exchange. So that way you can send off other services that you provide, or if they ask for more headshots, then you can do an add-on where it's $40 per editing the photo, but also again stick to your market and find out how much does the market charge for editing one photo and whatever. The Yeah, so that's pretty much what we've been discussing. Uh, yeah, we're like in the hour and 20-minute mark. So if you have a different area for me to take a look at, or if we can go remove boundary, let's look at yesterday's of what's going on in Florida. Let's see here. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see here. I just chose a random place to see what they're trying to offer. AC is very important to them to highlight. Oof, oof, oof. That was rough. That was rough. Okay, rough start in Florida. Um, let's see here. I've done worse, so no shame in that. Okay, same thing. They would prefer doing it in their cell phone because the property needs fixing. Let's take a look at the 800 or $900,000 properties. How is it different from your services and what you currently provide? Aerials, Twilight, Flambian technique. The only reason why I can know that it's a Flambian technique is because everything looks very contrasty. So everything has contrast to it. But 85 photos? That is way too much. That's way too much. That's a big waste of time. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm not gonna look through them. I'm gonna just do this and seeing what it also brings. Okay. And they even chose Twilight. But I guarantee you, this real estate photographer offered them $200 for everything. It seems that way. Let's see. Getting distracted off my other window. But yeah, this Twilight photo is basic. They stuck around till 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. To get the shot. If you're having like major discounts, I would just do it virtually, just to cut down time, and you don't have to spend your whole day in a 5 bedroom, 4 bath, in a 3,000 square feet home. Let's see here. Another cell phone photography. There's a lot of those, a lot of cell phone photographers out there. I'm telling you, that's gonna be the thing now because of the iPhone, the new iPhones, the new Samsung. Are they capable? Yeah, to an extent, but not as much as a quiet, high quality as a full frame camera can get. Basic HDR on a million, close to $2 million home. Yeah, this is much better. It's only 39 photos. I will stick to that on a property like this size. It just straight to the point with some detail shots. Fairly good. And a Twilight. Drone Twilight. Interesting. So Florida is starting to pick up, the same habits that LA is doing, same trendy stuff of Twilights, HDR, four corner shooting, and Flambiant with a little bit of detail shots. Yeah, this market is probably really saturated. It I even though there's opportunities everywhere, it's hard for me to compete with somebody in Florida as opposed to the last place that we saw. Uh, yeah, that's good. That was desaturated, but it's not. Yeah, great. When you're doing your drone services, try to stick with 5 to up to 10 photos. Don't go crazy on it. Mm. Whoa. Oh, I need a new chair. This thing is getting uncomfortable. Mm-mm. Let's check this video walkthrough. Shall we? If anybody knows that reference, you're caught up with the trend. Okay. Good. Jesus, how many bedrooms? 5? I wonder why he chose that as a slideshow or a photo, still photo. Good. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty standard stuff. Ah, interesting. Hmm. Ah, I didn't know their associations, the MLS services, allow that type of stuff. Normally, like here in LA, they don't allow this type of stuff, like promoting, self-promoting, and stuff like that. So it's very interesting to see that in Florida they allow to have a end credit like that. Uh, Pretty basic stuff. Uh, yeah. So this is pretty much at the range of 500,000 and above. You can see there's let's see if we can find another one. So 300,000. See, the editing is very HDR-ish. Uh, I don't know why this person is shooting at 16:9 ratio format photo. I mean, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Huh. The very HDR-ish look of it. Nice. There's no neighbors, no nothing. Pretty clean and straightforward. But I can tell that they do the editing themselves. Another cell phone photographer out there, and this is just, yeah, curious. Cool. Let's see if we can move on from this. Let me do some stretching. Alrighty, so I'm gonna take a quick little, or I don't know. Right now, we're currently looking at properties in different areas and seeing what they offer, what they not offer. But yeah, we've been live for probably 1 hour and 30 minutes. Already discussed one full city and what the person answered the person's question and how I can tackle those situations that he has been having. Currently, we're in Florida, seeing the type of quality of photos that they provide and what can a Florida resident photographer can do better in that area. So that's pretty much what we basically are doing. But right now, I'm gonna be taking a quick little break. So let's see here. Boom. All right, I'm back. I'm back. It's longer than 3 minutes, but I much needed walk and not stay sitting down for a long period of time. That's why I'm a photographer. Alrighty. Good. Let's see. We have any questions? Nope. We don't have any questions. So I'm just gonna chill for a bit and see what's going on. Get my cup of coffee. Let's see here. Mm-mm. All right, I'm gonna chill and my voice. We're just gonna take a look at some videos of my favorite YouTube channel right now. This is called the Local Project. I don't know what's wrong with my pronunciation. Well, that's always been a given.
To achieve beautiful living or working environments where the buildings really have a very low
Uh,
impact on the.
I like watching these type of videos for me to. Every time I do a home tour video, I pretty much kind of replicate or mimic the same kind of movement and stuff like that, and so how they capture the elements of the house. That's why I watch these type of things, just for my education purposes. But yeah,
The southeast
let's
of
check it out.
Melbourne in close proximity to the CBD, and we are here together in Wurundjeri land of the Kulin Nation. The site was actually vacant when we were first approached to look at the project, and I think this was one of the things that Kate and David really enjoyed, that it gave them lots of possibilities. They wanted a beautiful contemporary home with spaces for themselves, their children, and their grandchildren, as well as interstate guests. But probably what fascinated us as an office was this incredible agenda for sustainability that they brought to the project, and which was very unique. Our office is part of Architects Declare, which is really seeking
Little
to
things like
ensure
that.
that
I
it
just
conforms
keep
with
in mind for the
regulation,
next
that all the options, the
video shoot that
possibilities
I
that are
do.
open to them, that allow us to really get to low embodied carbon solutions in our buildings as soon as we possibly can. A Living Building Challenge is a really rigorous standard and was one of the two sustainability agendas that were chosen. In relation to energy, and this goes to the generosity aspect of the Living Building Challenge, the home is effectively working off grid, so it must its own power. It must actually dispose of all its own
Hmm.
wastewater. It must harvest all its own water as well. So it's really self-sufficient. Passive House is an engineering standard, and it really aims to create a building that requires a very minimal amount of energy in its general use, but in particular with its heating and cooling requirements. So very significant amounts of high performance insulation in the walls and the roofs and floors, a glazing which is very high performing, in this case triple glazed, and with a passive house that's incredibly well sealed, it's fundamentally important to achieve excellent shading systems. On this house, this is achieved
That's actually
through
pretty good.
Polaris Venetian blinds
Good
along
shots.
all north, east and west facing windows. And the courtyard itself actually has a bespoke system of operable timber louvers at roof level, which can be adjusted throughout the year in order to allow more or less light deep into the house. What you don't see behind these walls is an air tightness barrier, and what that does is it limits the amount of air leakage. This is combined then with the passive house ventilation system that delivers fresh air at very slow speed all the time. By creating such an efficient envelope, we've actually managed to be able to supply all the energy that we need for this project, plus create 5% more that gets exported back to the grid by having a small amount of PV cells on the roof. The Living Building Challenge has a requirement for food production on site, but Grounded Gardens did a beautiful job of incorporating edible ground covers, and we actually designated a whole space upstairs on a terrace for grow beds. We decided on a scheme of really two materials, a stone and a timber. And the reason for this was to create a very calming and natural environment. And other materials such as the concrete bench tops or the Queensland siltstone that's on the floor have a very similar tonality. The other interior material is a hydrowood oak, a really interesting material in terms of its history. A lot of the trees that have been used were in a valley that was flooded for a hydro project in the 1940s. These trees are now being harvested, they're being air dried and then kiln dried to produce really quite pristine and beautiful timber. And we have also used it on really bespoke pieces such as the dining table, which was made very specifically for this project for Kate and David. Other than these two significant materials of stone and timber, there was probably a really strong focus on having things that were made by hand. So for example, the rattan screen to the upper level balustrade woven on site by Angelo from Camberwell Cane. As part of our proposition to Kate and David, we proposed that the house would float above this sea of native grasses. Working with Grounded Gardens, a landscape architect, they developed this beautiful scheme of native planting. I really enjoy seeing those grasses softly waving in a really stark contrast to the strength and rigidity of the limestone building. We've been able to deliver a beautiful home that meets our client's brief, and at the same time it has such an incredibly minimal touch on the environment. So it's doing so much and yet its impact is so minimal.
I love where I work, but this is a very small business and doesn't offer health insurance. So I found a quality health plan through Covered California with a private health insurance company. They had several choices for me to pick from, like Kaiser, Blue Shield, and Anthem Blue Cross. Having health insurance feels so good and open.
This video is brought to you by the Local Projects print publication. Head to the description of this video to subscribe now and receive 3 copies each
Ah.
year.
My foot is numb. So one thing to keep in mind, like this theme throughout the whole YouTube channel, is that they do a lot of slow motion, detail shots, and time lapses, which I haven't seen a lot of real estate photographers do that. Again, because they have the mentality of get it done in 15 minutes or less to get the most out of the money that you undersell yourself to currently. But when you have a big boy job like this, like unique houses like this that we actually have in LA, a lot of them, that you can also provide this type of service to them, that's where you get the big bucks. The whole argument of what's the difference between a $1 million company versus a $60 photographer is that the $60,000 photographer takes his time. I much rather get the 75K a year, have a few agents, and take my time with my product or service that I provide to my clientele because I actually care that the house sells in the most creative way and separating myself against all these other clones out there or NPCs. Oops, I talk a lot with my hands, so whatever. But yeah, so I tend to study this channel a lot and see what I can do different for my next video shoot, and I try it out, practice. If it comes out good, great. If not, then toss it out. Or learn from it. But yeah, this is one thing that I very often do. It's just that now I'm just gonna do it live stream, and hopefully some other people takes advantage of watching it together because we can ask each other questions and yeah, pick our brains out and stuff like that. That way we can entering in 2023, we know what to do, what we offer, what we can uh, set ourselves apart from the rest of the people out there.
Is about refuge and retreat. It turns itself away from the street, away from the north light, and uses materials and spaces that are calm and full of light. My name's Nadine Orwell, and I'm the architect.
That was a good parallax detail shot. Just getting the facade of the building and just detail shot with a parallax effect. It's actually pretty nice.
The brief from the client was pretty clear. They had their own sort of style and aesthetic that they wanted imbued in the house, but most importantly, to create a place of refuge and a really good connection to nature and the natural environment. There were lots of controls from the site itself and from authorities in the area, but for the most part, it was for the client.
Again, detail shots, detail shots, detail shots.
And making sure that their own style was.
I think that's going to be the staple of 2023. Ad. Oh my god. One day I will get YouTube Premium.
As you enter into the house, you come into a big double height space, and to one side is more public spaces, and to the other side, both upstairs and downstairs, are the more private spaces. So if you come upstairs, the main living space, it has the kitchen, the living, the dining area all in one.
And the music too is something that I always keep in mind too as well. This
And then that runs through a long piece of joinery that takes.
this music works with what they're trying to achieve, but it's a good way to also to listen and see what type of music they present the house with. Detail shot, you know, that's pretty much like the belt, going side to side. It's another tool that a lot of photographers don't use in their home tour videos. If you can tell, like the pretty much the style of videography in this channel is going side to side, or up and down, detail shot. Barely you can see them just doing the whole ballerina, dancing with a gimbal and speed ramp your whole way through the freaking house, you know. So this style is very calming. It showcases the beauty of the house, the elements of the house, the details of the house in a much thorough way. it does take longer, yes, of course, but the production level of the music, the VFXs, the sound details, the birds, everything, the water, all the sound effects that or sound design that they use, it's awesome. It's great. They're just my 2 cents.
The neighbourhood is pretty unique in that we're in an urban setting and we actually look out onto bushland, which feels like you could be in the middle of nowhere.
My name is Simon Howard. I'm the senior designer at Dangar Barron Smith, and I was the lead designer on this project. Dangar Barron Smith and Orwell have had some collaboration pieces in
Beautiful
the past,
detail
and
shots.
they always turn out
Saw
to
it.
be a really amazing finished product, and this is no exception. There's a lot of trust associated with each other's discipline, and those overlapping areas are probably where you really see the good collaboration coming through. So whilst the site itself was quite blank, the true heroes were the views out to the harbour and the close association with the national park. They were very strong design aspects that couldn't be ignored.
Hmm.
So in those scenarios, it's always easy to work with those design elements as opposed to push against them. It always comes about for a nicer outcome and something that looks a little bit more natural as opposed to forced.
The whole idea behind the house in almost every space is about embracing that connection to the bush. And I think it informed not only the layout, the windows, the way the glazing works, how they open and
That's
close
beautiful.
architecturally, but also then the palette inside and outside. So we have the greys, we have the bronzes, and then with the interior furnishings, you start to see the greens and the colours that you get in the trees and the bush around you. It's quite a contemporary statement in an area that has lots of beach bungalows and a pretty traditional urban fabric. And that's changing, and the specific location of this house does have many more contemporary buildings around it. So there's a sense of fit there, but there's also that sense of, wow factor and awe that you get when you come out of the main urban area and from the little beaches, walk along the bush path and see this sort of cool concrete cantilevered house.
The clients for this property were a family with some young children, so whilst the house is quite strong and beautifully designed, it did have to cater for these young kids. So our approach with the landscape was just to bring some looser, softer textures up against it and allow it to really emerge from the landscape. It was really about selecting locations for upright plantings and soft climbers to just soften some harsh corners, but allowing those strong architectural materials to pop.
Having natural light was really important to the client and how they live, but also
Beautiful.
from an architectural perspective, with the use of the concrete and the natural timbers, having that different light plane,
Those little detail shots are just
straighted or circular, was just magic.
super good.
The entry stairwell was crucial to bringing light into the space from every angle. In the mornings, you get it through the bushland and the double height windows.
See how sometimes you don't need to do those speed ramps through the house. Take your time showcasing the house. It's beautiful.
The passage of time through the day and through the seasons because of the way that the light and the air can move through the house and the house can connect to the outside.
And you see how the music changes when they're talking about different sections of the house. And now it changes again.
From the day to day.
Another ad. Woo!
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built
I'm not 55 and up.
like 2 lines of unlimited.
And a client brief was to be able to have a bathroom that also connects to outside and nature, so you could sit in the bathtub and then open up all the doors and look out into the trees and just relax. The main bedroom balcony is pretty special because it's totally quiet and private.
See, sound effects of the birds, everything, which is describing about the house and the surrounding areas. And they use that, a bird tripping throughout the whole video. Because it just brings a sense of warmth and it creates the environment around the house.
It's all interconnected, and there's stairs that cascade down into the bushland beside them, where the landscape design really sensitively integrates their own garden into the native bush garden, which is adjacent.
The site itself is fairly narrow, so there wasn't a lot of play something on the site that I really love just drops away to the peanut-shaped lawn.
Beautiful done. Well done video. I always love to watch this channel for inspiration and video techniques that they use throughout the video.
We chose to be simple and consistent throughout, that it really works, and that the materials that we chose, that they're aging well, that they'll wear the patina of time. And I think, there was so much love and effort put into the rumpus room and the terrace leading out to the pool. That tall shaded space is just so nice to sit in and talk. We used to have our site meetings there. Everyone was set up on a table and have.
If anybody can replicate this into their services, trust me, you will get clientele. A much better quality clientele than the ones that are just one-off real estate agents.
My favorite product throughout would be the cabinetry and the concrete. The cabinetry is the same all the way throughout the house and has beautiful handles that adapt to each space from made measure. The concrete, which is both by the builder but also by artisans from Concrete Nation, is pretty sublime.
Australians love concrete houses.
There's a sink and a
I'm starting to like them too with the combination with the wood. It's actually pretty nice.
The pantry's concealed behind bifold doors using half-lay mechanisms, and the whole thing's clad in timber veneer from DMK Forest Products, which is grey ironbark and Australian timber. The bronze island benchtop is.
See, they're just creating a slider or robotic slider. It just gets the camera panning one way to another. That is used throughout the whole video process, so it gets you out of that habit of with a gimbal going around in circles like a ballerina and stuff like that. It just gives a different dynamic of the video of introducing the home, so showcasing the zipping through, the slider. And that's it. You take your tripod, you put it in the next room. Detail shots with a different lens, 24-70 or 85 millimeter, and you just get those nice little detail shots throughout the whole bed. Like just little things like that. I think that will help you gain a certain type of clientele if you wish to, create a clientele that is very. They can pay you at any time, and you don't have to do or look for as many clients as you need to.
Create a rustic and industrial look whilst conveying a sense of calm and quiet space. The balcony.
See, it's always the slider. Just slider with the camera. Slider with the camera, different directions, panning, side to side, front, detail shots, and there you go. There's no need for a gimbal that you have to just dance around with around the room using speed ramps and whatnot. Detail shots, And that's going to be the theme of next year. Detail shots, I think.
Published 3 times a year, the local project hard copy
Yes,
publication
that's it.
contains over 350 pages of
Let me see one of their newest videos. I haven't watched as many. Let's see how they do in apartments.
If you want to lead something
Oh God.
by saying, this is what I care about, this is what I want to do, and why.
Okay.
Taking elements of home life that you might have had in suburbia, open the doors and have some plants and a sense of kind of greenery and nature in an elevated context, I think is quite attractive.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how an apartment is being shot.
The site for this project is on Jervois Road in Herne Bay. Jervois Road is one of the many arterial routes from Auckland CBD.
Aerial shots,
Road and
views of the city,
situated on a ridgeline.
views of the city, aerial shots.
Panoramic views all the way from the city back out.
Now we're going back to the slider. Slider with the camera.
I'm Liam, and
panning side to side.
We're a family-run business.
Same thing with the drone. They do it side by side. Nothing too fancy, no parallax, no twirling around in circles and going up and down.
Bay's a leafy suburb with beautiful beaches, beautiful restaurants, cafes, design stores.
The brief evolved, over a period of time through design workshops. The general premise was that it would be a residential-led mixed-use development.
I have an architectural background. Liam has the development background. So we were looking for an architecture firm that would offer us a unique approach.
It's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle. It's only 500 square metres with 15 metres of street elevation. And
That's a beautiful building, by the way.
kind of interesting
Jesus.
format with commercial.
I wish LA has that creativity, but all you see is gray walls and black doors with a White House.
And for us, that's providing something that's
Very,
simple
very boring.
and ages really well.
Eight apartments. So when you look at the building from the street, it was important that the lobby had a sense of address to the street, and it's obvious.
Detail shots, close up.
Framed by two kind of solid blade walls. A small 100 square meter.
And that's another thing too that I want to add on to. When you're doing video, you don't need to do movements or a lot of movements. You can just sit the camera down and film. So you just watch what the neighborhood or the surroundings, the activities that are there to just create the sense of the environment, to capture those little details.
Also allowed us to push the dining area further back into the plan instead of pushing it towards the view, which is a slightly different kind of spin on how you might typically plan apartments.
We've kind of separated the different functions. So to the southern end, there's the bedrooms and the private spaces.
One of the challenges, I guess, of having bedrooms.
Another slider shot.
The interface between the public domain and
Out of
the
focus.
need for a private space. So I guess the kind of screen to the street helps us deal with that in a quite innovative way. Varying degrees of transparency and opacity depending on where you view it from. So from the bedrooms, when you've got that direct sight line through the screen and it's quite open through the centre, you've got great views out to the context. But when you're down on the street, the oblique view looking up is quite opaque and quite interesting.
To the north, we've got the more social spaces, so the dining room, the living, and the enclosed deck, which is an amazing opportunity to sit outside, but also to be sheltered in winter. For an apartment, it really feels quite spacious.
The site, as I mentioned, is quite narrow, so it's 15 metres, and we've got 2 apartments per floor, and it's 33 odd metres kind of long. And the longest part of the program, I guess, is the kitchen, so it made sense to align that on that kind of party wall condition where you can look out to the view on one side and then back through the winter garden on the other side. There's something quite attractive about having the functionality of a decent sized house and
Always with the sliders.
So the material palette incorporates natural stone, natural oak, and a lot of metalwork. We selected the dark bronze brass, and that continues throughout the project. We used it through range hoods.
They always use the detail, wide angle, back to detail.
Natural stone, we chose
Each individual items that the house provides.
The key with choosing a stone is you've got to live with it for a long time. So I think it's a balance between a lot of movement and the colour, and this ocean grey offered us that. I think it's a good balance between the natural and the new. The upstand, the island bench, was a key feature of the space. We didn't want it to be too flat, so a natural slate is really amazing. It gives a lot of undulation.
Touch,
and softness.
contact with
Part of the
items
design
is also a
of the
great way
kitchen
to
was these vertical
add on.
modular
We wouldn't do it
elements
in your
position of the
basic
handle.
home tour
So
video,
we
but
needed to incorporate that with the appliances, and that's why we selected the vertical column fridge freezer. We could just have that 600 module continuous with the ovens stacked next to each other and wine fridge. You don't really want the appliances to take prominence. That's where Fish and Paykel appliances have worked really well here. They're really minimal and clean, and they work well with the dark stain of the oak and the aesthetics we wanted.
might sound like cliche, but you know, it was a really good collaborative process. You know, quite often there's a lot of
detail shots, even detail
sweet
shots.
spot where you can tie things together and find a real kind of nuanced and poetic solution to.
I think if you can incorporate this into
I
anything,
do feel extremely proud of this project.
you'll do well.
A lot of heart and soul into this project, and to walk up the street and people looking and saying, "Hey, wow, that's really, really great project," and all the positive comments we've had, we feel really proud.
Wait. Guys want to watch another video? One more video, I guess. I want to have like a basic, yeah, like a standard, not too architectural.
My name is Jess Sparta. I am from Bureau, and this is our Lower Shotover house. The site is based in Queenstown. We're sitting up above the Lower Shotover River, looking out towards Coronet Peak. Amazing north-facing aspect. So we started by looking at the old sort of musterers' huts on mountainsides. We're sort of sitting here on
Oh, this is a different videographer. Likes to do the parallax kind of feel to it. Zoom, coming in, and the camera is panning down. So that's a nice one. I've done that before. I like that one.
We wanted it to feel like a vernacular form, that it belonged to the landscape. So the walls are all this big mass of masonry, which gives you the deep window reveal.
I need a new chair.
Shelter and safety in here. The weather can be really changeable. It can be quite extreme, cold, snow, rain. We wanted a house that felt really cozy, that you could nestle up inside and feel safe, enjoy looking out. The materials of the house all sort of play with this idea of the carving out of the hill, and so there's a lot of stone. The kitchen, this black travertine, and all the interior linings have this lovely kind of charcoal timber. It was important to the clients that the house felt really robust. It centered around all of these outdoor activities, and so floors and the walls are designed to sort of take knocks and have a timeless quality to them. I think that there is a lot of drama in this house, with the sort of dark, rich timber walls and carefully framed windows. We were able to really
Again, same style of panning side to side with just a slider. Just moving in, moving out.
Around the spaces. Nothing's brightly lit. The sun works in the same way. It's sort of
Very slow, 60 frames per second. Slow it down to 24.
I think the place feels warm and dramatic. There's this real play of compression and release of spaces. So you step up into the kitchen and we've got the green roof above us. So we're sort of sitting in this compressed space now under earth, and then it opens up to sort of vaulted higher ceilings with these carefully framed views up to the mountains and the river. Yeah, I think the aspect of the building was obviously really important. With the mass of the walls, we wanted to be able to get lots of sunlight in and then hold that heat. So it was a careful balance between this sort of pavilion-like space where you're able to push back these 3-meter high doors and sit outside in the summer, but also
I want to see if there's another video.
windows that didn't
Kind of like
lose lots of heat in winter.
the song is too soothing.
I think there's a nice moment upstairs in the bunk room. The desk that sits.
Probably gotta drink more alcohol. coffee.
Experience of this house is that kind of bunkered feeling where you sit in the green roof sort of
My brain is everywhere today.
hillside down
Need more water, I
and
guess.
out. So it's nice to pop up and have that moment of looking out over the top. So the green roof is sort of got this lovely thermal quality and mass to it, but primarily was to help
See,
with
he likes to
camouflage.
do those little panning and then tilt down.
We broke the brief down into these 3 volumes in an attempt
A
to
little bit more,
make
it brings a little
it
bit more
more
dynamic to the
visible
house. See,
and break
up,
down its mass.
and the camera is going down.
I love this kitchen. I think the step up to the kitchen.
But pretty basic tools that you need: slider, drone, camera.
It's a really fun house
That's
to
it.
entertain in. I think my favorite moment of the house is just this
Very minimal of gimbal
movement of
movements.
between tight spaces and opening up. I think the bathrooms are really beautiful and moody. They feel like you're inside this kind of carved rock. It feels like a real place of
That place is a little bit too dark.
calmness. Yeah, it was important to us that the house felt timeless.
The
and
challenges that
of the place.
you get with
That
a
was
dark home.
contemporary, but that you couldn't pick the year. I think it was also important that the house was centered around
Alright, it's gonna end.
that would be living in it.
Oh,
Where I work.
yay,
But this is a
cover
very small
California.
business and doesn't offer health.
This, the local project video, is sponsored by Roborock and their latest flagship robot vacuum, the S7 Max V Ultra.
Japanese style type of home.
I'm Jeremy. I'm Scott, and we're the directors of Eldridge Anderson Architects. And this is our Janjuk Studio project, which functions as my own house and my family's house, and also our studio space. Janjuk's about an hour and a half south of Melbourne, a surfing community predominantly. Lots of small fibro beach shacks that are
All those dark shots that we've been seeing, real estate agents will be like, "It's too dark. Can you brighten it up? Brighten it up. Brightening it up."
one of the things we're drawn to
Ruining the image.
is the idea of living under the gum trees.
Time lapse. See, I'm telling you, all these little things, all these little
The exterior is probably
techniques that are out there that most of the real estate photographers don't do.
front entry door, the rich timbers are revealed. The double height volume starts to reveal itself. There's the more quiet reflective spaces towards the south, so the bedroom areas. And then obviously upstairs there's an office space.
See the sound effects, birds chirping,
Walls
everything,
touch the external walls. Every room can be actually
sounds, the wood, the wind that they use to make this video. So also keep in mind about that to separate yourself
interact
with your competitors.
So the house itself isn't enormous, but I guess it's been one of our interests in some of our other projects as well, is to maximize what we're using. The definition between circulation space and room space is sort of a little bit more overlapped. So those things have all sort of combined in quite a special way, I think. It's not just how it operates,
I'm
but
gonna
it's how
check
it
something
looks
out
and how it
real
feels.
quick.
Screens actually make up the entire perimeter of the house. They can be completely slid away to open to the landscape.
And as you're adjusting them for privacy or depending on the weather, you're also changing the lighting levels and what's reflected or diffused. That subtle activation gives a sense of life rather than one shape or a form that is the same all the time.
And in terms of the materiality of it, the timber battens are pre-aged, and we actually did that ourselves over a number of months. They've taken on this sort of silvery quality, which also helps pick up on some of the landscaping elements. to that, the actual structure itself, the doors, the floor, is all recycled blackbutt. The blackbutt itself actually has a rich blondie sort of quality to it. The builders were real craftsmen on this project. They took real pride in their work, the connections, the way that the timber's all detailed. It's quite a beautiful thing. We actually started the design process while we were travelling through Japan. The proportion of the building, the finish of the materials, the really sharp connection to the inside and outside, those sort of things are elements that we picked up on and I suppose subtly referenced in this house.
It didn't seem appropriate to build a house that took up the whole site, and it's nice to let this landscape flow from one site to the next.
We don't have a deck as such in this house, but the entire space is actually a deck when you slide the doors back, which gives that ability internally to just sit above the landscape and sort of survey the landscape.
And it also becomes a backdrop for the shadows and the shapes of the vegetation around it.
On a day like today where we've got beautiful sun pouring in from the north, it's quite still. We're approaching winter here and we've got sun deep into the building, filtering through the leaves, filtering through the battens. There's a poetic sort of quality to the way the sun dances through the building and changes through the day. It's quite a peaceful thing to be so connected to that. I think one of the aspects I'm most proud of this project is probably the architectural clarity that we've achieved. It's something that we've probably been refining and striving for over a number of years.
The humble presence of the house, I think, is a real success, especially down here, and there's a lot of development along the coast, but this space maintains a composure rather than a lot of moves.
It's a singular idea that we feel like we executed in quite a refined way, which is something that we're quite proud of.
The logo project video is sponsored by Roborock and their latest flagship robot vacuum, the S7 Max V Ultra. The S7 Max V Ultra is a highly intelligent cleaning system with top quality features such as a full automated dock that fills, washes, and empties to make floor cleaning easy and effortless. Our homes are incredibly dynamic places, always in a state of constant change and movement. The Roborock is a highly intuitive vacuum system that uses reactive AI 2.0 obstacle avoidance to accurately process and recognize these changes in the home to clean effectively and safely. Through its highly advanced machine learning algorithms, the vacuum is able to process hazardous obstacles such as wires, power outlets, pet waste, and fragile items, and find the best
I'm
way
here.
home. The S7 Max V Ultra also includes a Vibra-Rise mopping system that scrubs your floors up to 3,000 times per minute
Mopping
with a
system.
consistent high pressure. If carpets and rugs are present, rest assured the S7 has an automatic mop lifting avoidance system that prevents them from getting wet. The idea of a camera roaming through your home may not be the most assuring one. However, the S7 Max V Ultra is certified by third-party testing expert TUV Rhineland, ensuring a high cybersecurity and privacy protection level. The Roborock S7 Max V Ultra is a highly reliable, intelligent system that ensures cleaning your home is easy and effortless. Head to the link in the description to learn more about the S7 Max V Ultra and how seamlessly the system can be incorporated into your home.
Alrighty.
Hey guys, Dave Ramsey here. One of the most powerful things I get to do is celebrate with people who paid off their debt and give their debt-free scream. What if you could be a part of helping someone become debt-free?
Alrighty. Ah. Okay, so gonna be done for today. I need another chair for me to sit on because it's very, very hard for me to sit on this chair. But thank you so much for anybody who stopped by. Thank you so much for that person who asked questions, getting more interactions. I think that this video provided a lot of value to the people who are lost in the game and wondering how they can get started, or if you're a year old or a year into this field, then I dropped some little nuggets here and there, but nonetheless, it was a great stream. I'm gonna continue doing this every 9 a.m. all the way till 12 p.m. I'm gonna cut it a little short because it seems like we're just dying down. But tomorrow or today, I'm gonna start getting into new ideas of what to do so I can keep up. But nonetheless, it was great. Pushed it through for 2 hours and a half. But right now, I feel like I just ran out of ideas and my brain is schmelted. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. And it's also getting hot in my room because of my PC, probably poor PC. But yeah, hopefully we're getting into more discussions about what can be done in your city, what type of quality is provided there, video reviews if you have any. Let's talk about photo reviews also too as well. And I can give you my 2 cents. Again, I don't claim to be like the highest position life out there. It's just that I just want to help out because I wish I had somebody like me when I was starting out. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I see you on the next one, which is tomorrow at 9 a.m.